Welcome everyone making your way in. Good evening, good evening. Welcome to Sanctuary Boston. I'm Mark David Buckles, Director of Music, up here with a bunch of great musicians. Got Alex and Callie next to me, and Sam and Tayward back there. Joe's going to join us in a minute. So we're going to do a little singing. Let me just check with the Zoom people. How about our Zoom people? Can you hear me? Can you hear me and see me online, Zoomers? Give me a spicy emoji in the chat. Great, my mom says she can hear me. That's good. Excellent. So I invite those of you who are here, to rise in body, rise in spirit. We're going to start with singing "Gathered Here in the Mystery of the Hour." Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near.
Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here
In one strong
body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near.
one more time, gathered.
Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near.
Spirit,
Spirit draw near.
Spirit,
Spirit draw near.
Spirit.
Spirit draw near.
Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots.
Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stone is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stone is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones.
Cause the
Sound of the river as it moves across the stone is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen?
Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening? Put your roots down.
Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. Can you hear what she says when you listen? Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stone is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones.
One more time, cause the
Sound of the river as it moves across the stone is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones.
Are you listening?
Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening?
Our souls speak spring. If we lived in another climate, our souls might speak other languages. We might speak oasis or permafrost, dry season or monsoon. But our souls speak spring. Our souls speak green shoots pushing through last year's leaves. Our souls speak flower buds stretching into the sun. Our souls speak mud puddle and nest building, damp earth and worm castings, tiny green leaves and frog choruses. We speak spring because spring sings in us. We gather to nurture our faith in our own growing, our own courage to push through, our own blossoming in beauty, our own small part in the spring of this world. Come, let us worship together.
Good evening and welcome to the Sanctuary Boston, a vibrant community of real connection and joyful worship, grounded in Unitarian Universalist values and open to seekers of all kinds. My name is Martha Durkee Newman. I use she and her pronouns. I come to you in my capacity as one of your Sanctuary board members, and I'm delighted to get to welcome you to this service this evening. Our band is going to lead us in some phenomenal music and has already. Our community member, Rosemary, is going to offer us a reflection about mud and hopefully teach me how to get my car stuck and unstuck out of the mud in my backyard. Fingers crossed for that later on. Please use this space as you are comfortable. If you feel moved, you can let your body move around this space. If you want to dance, you can let your body dance. If you need to color or hang out in the back, you can color and hang out in the back. Ours is a community that we build together, and how you show up is exactly right and is exactly perfect. Online friends, please say hello in the chat and maybe say where you're joining from. You can use a wave emoji, or we practice an exuberant chat usage in our sanctuary worships, so say hello to folks and put an emoji in there. We will open our time with our words of welcome. I will invite Julia to say them with me. They will be up on the screen, and please say whichever words feel the most meaningful to you.
Whether you go to church on Sunday mornings,
Or light candles on Friday nights.
whether you've been hurt by religion,
Saved by it.
or some of both,
Whether you're brand new to spiritual community,
or a seasoned seeker,
whoever you are,
wherever you are,
wherever you are on your journey, we welcome you.
Hi, everybody. I have a hashtag sanctuary moment for you. So, one of the small annoyances of being a professional musician is that when you do a good job, instead of saying, "You did a good job," people will often say, "You should make a CD." Now, I don't respond super well to any compliment that begins with "you should." And people think that having albums means success, but many people don't listen to albums anymore, and if they do, why would they pay $15 for one when they can stream it on Spotify? And people don't tend to realize the gap between the energy of live music, thank you for being here for live music, where we forgive many small mistakes, and recordings where we expect perfection on repeated listenings. So for many years, I have balked at the idea of a sanctuary album, and I've defined success in many other ways. But one of the things that I've loved about Sanctuary is our focus on lifting up many voices. We don't just hear one charismatic leader stand up and give us the truth. We say that for each one of us, what you have to say, what you have to offer, is just as important as anyone else. That we need to hear your truths. And so it is, I think, with our music. We've sung and played songs and pieces by almost everyone who's been a part of the band in the past several years, with apologies to Sam, who's the guest percussionist tonight. We haven't done your songs yet, but I know you write them too. There's still time, that's true. And for a long time, I've thought about how when we're kids, we all grow up drawing pictures and writing poetry, usually badly drawn pictures and badly written poetry at first. But for many of us, we're told that music is this thing that comes only from divine inspiration, that we can't do it ourselves. And that's just not true. Music is accessible to all of us, and I know that this community kind of self-selects for people that love music, and I love that. And the more voices we hear, the better it is for all of us, and the better it is for the world. And so, when we finally did decide to make a CD, I wanted to create a Sanctuary album of all original songs, all written and performed by our own Sanctuary musicians. More than feeling like having an album was a token of some kind of success or a tool for fundraising or commercial gain, we wanted to share people's voices and songs and also try to remind all of us that we all have so many songs to sing and so many songs to hear from each other. The album's coming out soon. It sounds amazing. There are songs with words and music by Alex, Ashley, Emily, Brand, Tayward, Lucas, Callie, Matt, Micah, myself, and even a song many of us wrote together at the retreat. There'll be more information later in the service. Thank you for listening, and thank you for singing.
Our centering song today is a song that's on the album. Woo woo. And this has a body percussion component, which I'm going to teach you now. Ashley's ready for. So I'm going to teach you the body percussion first. Then when we do the song, you can choose if you want to do body percussion, you want to do the singing, whatever. So this is how it goes. So there's like a tap on your lap, a little like swipe clap, and a snap. Then swishy, swishy, swish. Let's do it a couple times. Keep going. We're going to keep going. I'm going to sing with it. I was planted in the darkness. I was planted in the darkness. Amazing. The second part goes like this. You can stop that now. Here's the second part. Stop. I'll sing and do the motion because it's a little simpler. I feel the dark. It brings me life. Then a little swishy hug. I feel the dark. It brings me life. We're going to do that a lot of times in the song. It's one of those songs where you sing the same words over and over again to really feel it in your body. There's a weird mic thing happening. Is that better now? Hopefully it will be better. So we're going to do this song. Feel free to sing along, to tap along, to rotate. Also, you can make up your own body percussion if you want to do a little bit of this. Whatever feels good to you, you can do. I was planted in the darkness. 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 I feel the dark. It brings me life. I feel the dark. It brings me life. I can grow. I can grow in the darkness. 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 I feel the dark. It brings me life. I feel the dark. It brings me life. I was planted. I was planted in the darkness. 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 I feel the dark. It brings me life. I feel the dark. It brings me life. I can grow. I can grow. can grow in the darkness. Oh, I can grow in the darkness. I can grow in the darkness. I feel the dark. It brings me life. I feel the dark. It brings me life. Oh, I was planted in the darkness. 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 I feel the dark. It brings me life. I feel the dark. It brings me life. I can grow in the darkness. I can grow in the darkness. Oh, I can grow in the darkness. I can grow in the darkness. I feel the dark. It brings me life. I feel the dark. It brings me life. I was planted in the darkness. 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 I feel the dark. It brings me life. I feel the dark. It brings me life.
Crossing the Swamp by Mary Oliver. Here is the endless, wet, thick cosmos, the center of everything, the nugget of dense sap, branching vines, the dark bird, faintly belching bogs. Here is swamp, here is struggle, closure, pathless, seamless, peerless mud. My bones knocked together at the pale joints, trying for foothold, finger hold, mind hold over such slick crossings, deep hip holes, hummocks that sink silently into the black, slack earth soup. I feel not wet so much as painted and glittered, with the fat, grassy mirrors, the rich and succulent marrows of earth, a poor, dry stick, given once more chance by the whims of swamp water, a bow that still, after all these years, could take root, sprout, branch out, bud, make its life a breathing place of leaves.
Late in 2023, in the middle of December, I achieved a lifelong dream. Not that one. The other one, I adopted a dog. And at first she was scared of everything. Driveways, mine and other people's, ducks, not geese, ducks, brooms, toast popping out of the toaster, people wearing hats. But with a lot of work, a lot of dog training, she started to adjust to the world, and I was so proud of her. So by last spring, we were venturing out into local parks on a lot of training walks, really regularly. And I have to mention really proudly that she's usually good on leash, my dog, which is a very proud dog person achievement. But like most dogs, she had one fatal flaw: squirrels. No amount of cheese or even meat can distract her from them. And last March, all the California parks where we would walk were just packed with squirrels. And one day, we went to a new park where I was hopeful there would be fewer squirrels, and I was so wrong. Things went off the rails nearly immediately. Stella is strong, and she pulled me through the squelchy grass to a tree where a squirrel was indeed taunting her. Trying to redirect her from the tree, I attempted to get us back to the sidewalk, to the walk, but instead I gently and honestly slowly fell down right into the muddy grass. She was not going to take her eyes off the squirrel. She would not be moved. And she wasn't paying any attention to me, and so I sat there in the mud with my dog, kind of despondent. I was unsure of how to proceed. Horrifyingly, one jogger passed me, and then a second, and I waved at them to let them know I was okay. That year, I was living alone in a new city, and I was lonely, and now I was just sitting in the mud with the dog who was supposed to distract me from all my problems. And sure, she was thrilled about our new home, about the mud, about rarely having to meet new folks. I was lonely. But I was really unhappy in a deep down way, and this moment in my life felt muddy, not just metaphorically. I was stuck, unclear, and in the mud with my dog. Of course, I was really trying to make meaning from the mess, to take things as a time of transition, but mostly I was just sad and frustrated. The soil of my life felt frozen and brittle and unready to grow much of anything. And so mostly I just waited, not patiently, for things to shift and for the ground to thaw for a moment of new possibility. Mud, I thought, is a place of stuckness, and I am so in it. Now, I am not a good gardener, and I don't want you to think I am. And I really don't enjoy getting my hands dirty, so it's weird I'm preaching about mud. But all this has had me thinking about my elementary school garden. My school was good at a few things, teaching us all to do handcrafts, poetry recitation, weirdly. And for this story, what's important to know is that a lot of our science education was hands-on and in the compost piles at the back of the school garden. Our little school had a really big garden, filled with tree stumps for us to sit on in a cute little circle, a bunch of garden beds overflowing with tomatoes and squash and weeds, mostly weeds. And toward the back of the garden, there were two huge compost piles, taller than our small selves. Twice a week, our gardening teacher taught us about turning the compost, pulling the weeds, and she drew illustrations on the blackboard in the classroom of all the critters living in the compost pile: worms, slugs, flies, ants, roly-polies. "They're amazing," she said. "Ew," we said. To top things off, this teacher would bring in buckets of llama poop from her own yard. And we would have to shovel it on top of the pile. We complained and exclaimed the whole time. If you haven't seen llama poop before, I don't know why you would have. I did have to Google this to double check. It's made up of little spheres, exactly how I remember it in the Google image search, which according to my gardening teacher and my recent research actually, is really nutrient rich and in high demand as a fertilizer. But gross. When the compost pile was ready, we would dig the darkest, richest dirt from the bottom of the pile and scatter it into the garden beds. Then we would turn the pile again, put a blanket of hay on top, and go back to the rest of our school days a little muddy. And when tended mostly by 1st to 5th graders, I think compost is at its best. A little wild, exclaimed over, scraggly. And what I know now is that compost is the real stuff, evidence of the slow, steady, stinky processes of nature and our lives. And in our own days, in our dormant or slow seasons, we also do the work of churning through the discarded parts of our lives to create rich, nutritious dirt which can help us grow. And even when it is freezing, even when we are sitting in the mud feeling stuck, our bodies and our minds and our hearts, we are still transforming. When life is garbage, wait it out. Something new is growing. Compost works miracles in gardens, bringing plants exactly what they need to live and providing a home for so many beneficial critters, and it is messy and imperfect. In winter, compost slows down but doesn't stop. Sure, the materials decompose more slowly, and in their frozen state, we can see little visible progress in our compost piles if we're lucky enough to have them. But under the cozy straw, underneath the tarps, a new kind of bacteria, a different one than compost things in the summer, is working really hard, transforming the scraps. And we all know not everything is compostable. We have all probably read too much lately about microplastic pollution and about chemicals leaching. And what can't be transformed in our compost piles and in our lives, we can discard. We don't have to bring everything with us. Some things are worth leaving behind, like toxic ideas about ourselves, relationships that have run their course, or old beliefs about the world. It is hard work, though, to sort through what can be changed, what can help us get unstuck, and what we really need to let go of. Mud season in New England is right about now, March to May, and it's the moment when the earth wakes up, the ground unfreezes, and the waterlogged, frozen soil turns into sticky, intractable mud, the kind Martha's car gets stuck in. And a simple walk can turn into a slog. A little gardening becomes unimaginably messy. As I've lived through more of these springs, I've begun to celebrate the mud a little as a sign of rebirth because it smells like real life and potential and mess. Here are some ways I've embraced the mud. They're limited. I've bought better boots, and I found that by equipping myself for the physical mess, I take more risks and I find more joy. I take my dog to the park, the fenced one, where she can exuberantly roll around in the muddy, half-melted slush and chase squirrels, and I can laugh along with her enthusiasm. On post-winter, in these spring walks, she bounds from one little patch of dirt to the other, smelling the life returning to the ground. Maybe we should, too. Life, growing things, we're tenacious. We come from soil, from food grown in the ground, from the absolute miracle that the sun returns each year after the cold, dark winter. Not everything can be transformed. Some ideas, some substances are toxic to life. But when I notice my own growth and the cycles of earth which mirror this, I can't help but feel a grounded, radical hope. The discarded bits, the messes of our lives can thaw, decompose, and transform into the potential for new things to grow, for new ones to come from the old. As if there is a group of fourth graders overseeing the process, it will be complicated and it will be messy. The mess of it all is authentic. This is how the earth renews itself as well. But the mess was always there, under the surface, and even in our stuck moments, beckoning us to transform. Life can be like a compost heap, and if we're lucky, we can find rich soil through which to transform ourselves and the world. Amen, and blessed be.
Thank you, Rosemary. Our next song is one by Katie Curtis that has been a balm to me in times when I've felt really, really stuck, as a reminder that we don't know what's going to grow next out of what seems to be nothing. I invite you to join in as you catch on, but the refrain is that the desert won't show everything waiting to grow. Joshua tree, with its arms raised, the way that you found me. I said to come this way, and you never second guessed. You believed in the wild west. Come to see the ageless tree. You know the desert won't show everything waiting to grow. Everything waiting to grow. The desert queen, through the gold rush, everybody dreams. But now all that's left is us. We may have come here for the thrill, but we stay through force of will. Come to see Death Valley. You know the desert won't show everything waiting to grow. Everything waiting to grow. Give me a little bit of rain. I wanna believe it's true. We don't wait in vain. No, the desert will bloom with all the juniper and all the willow vine and all the beauty underneath coming up to shine. The Joshua tree in the darkness, the way that you found me on the road to this, and we take comfort in the fact that there is no turning back. Come to see the ageless tree. You know the desert won't show everything waiting to grow. Everything waiting to grow. Everything waiting to grow. Everything waiting to grow. Everything waiting.
Thank you, Rosemary, for that wonderful reflection. Thank you, Sanctuary Band, for that lovely song. So I am going to be doing our offering now. So for those of you who are online, you can use links in the chat box to donate on Venmo or PayPal. If you're in person, it's up on the screen. on ways you can donate as well, also PayPal and Venmo. And also, if you've written your joys or sorrows, this is a time people may come around to collect them, or if you would like to write one, someone can hand you a card really quick. So let me tell you about this really wonderful organization, Project Bread. And I just want to use some of their own words because they describe it better than I could summarize it. Their mission states, it connects people and communities in Massachusetts to reliable sources of food while advocating for policies that make food more accessible so no one goes hungry. I love that. It's perfect, right? Well, maybe not perfect, but it's pretty good. I love that Project Bread recognizes that hunger is a symptom of an unjust system that has policies built that lead to Black, brown, immigrant, and Indigenous communities to experience hunger at higher rates. As stated by them again, Project Bread must be proactive in fighting systemic racism and economic discrimination, and actively work to end racism and discrimination within systems and organizations, including laws and policies. We must engage voices of all identities and breaking down barriers to getting food. Isn't that great? And if you didn't know about Project Bread before, neither did I about an hour and a half ago. But I loved learning about them and what they're doing, and I think they're a really great group for us to be partnering with for our Offering Ask. Thank y'all. We arrive together bringing all the joys and sorrows of our complex lives with us this evening. Some of us arrive here wrestling difficult things, feeling the pain of a broken world around us and within us. Some of us arrive full of blessings and brimming with gratitude. Whatever your joys or sorrows or anything in between, we invite you to hold those in your heart as we hear those written out from first our friends who are here in person.
There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all we rest in this love.
I invite you to join me in a spirit of prayer. Prayer, spirit of great love and great mystery. We hold all that is fragile, all that hurts, all that grips our hearts. We celebrate meaning and awe and all that connects us and moves us. May love settle into our depths. May love light our way. May we face the joys and the sorrows of our lives hand in hand, heart to heart, and with deep tenderness for ourselves and for each other. Amen.
Make us aware we are a sanctuary, each made holy and loved right through with thanksgiving. We are a living sanctuary, anew.
Friends, now is the time where we will light candles together. In a few moments, we will sing Sanctuary one more time, and then invite you to come to one of the 3 candle tables, take a taper candle, and light one of the small candles. While we do this, we will be humming Sanctuary as many times as it takes. Please, when you are passing the taper candle to the next person, take a moment to look at them and let them look at you and recognize that spark of divinity that each of you hold. Let this be a moment for connection.
Make us aware we are a sanctuary, each made holy and loved right through with thanksgiving. We are a
What is in your compost pile right now? As new things grow, may we return what no longer serves us to the earth. May we nourish our tender new hopes with well-earned, rich knowing. May we go forth from this place ready to grow. Amen.